One time I was driving this bus back in like 2016, and I had to pick up this group of students. The kids were being kids. This one kid was like, "Can I sit up on the front? I get car sick." And I'm just like, "I don't give a shit, just sit your ass down." He's like, "Yes, sir." And I'm like, "Don't call me sir, it makes me feel old. Call me Big Sexy." And the kid's like, "Okay, Big Sexy." And I'm like, "Damn right." "Okay, bitches, I'm your bus driver for today. My name's John, but you can call me Jazz. You got that? 1. No talking. Talking activates my back row hemolyt, and if you talk, it's gonna activate my anxiety. So absolutely no talking. If you talk, my anxiety is gonna act up, and it will eventually cause us to go into oncoming traffic. Rule number 2, absolutely no cologne. Cologne messes with my allergies, and it'll cause me to sneeze my tampon out. And that same nerdy kid asks, can I roll down my window? And I'm like, and rule number 3, absolutely no rolling down your windows. We got AC for a reason. And speaking of AC, I'm turning it off. It's a cool 98 degrees out, so you'll survive. And if you roll that window down, I'll pull this bus over and beat the shit out of you. And if you try to tell your parents, I'll tell them at the next parent-teacher meeting that you did to yourself because you're emo. No, let's fucking rock. And then there was a fight going on a couple minutes later. And then, so I was like, a fight? Oh, hell no. And then I, go while the bus was still driving. And that same nerdy kid was like, wait, who's driving the bus? Bleh. And I was like, hey, break it up. And I, slap them all silly. And then that same nerd kid asks, hey, can you drive the bus? And I'm like, 1 second, let me take a sip of my Yoo-hoo. And he's like, stop sipping your Yoo-hoo and drive the bus. And I, throw the Yoo-hoo bottle at him, and I'm like, how about you try becoming a father at 6 years old, drop out of high school, and become a bus driver? Then you can make the rules. And then I get pulled over by a police officer, and I'm like, oh, what now? And the same nerdy kid's like, probably because you weren't driving the bus. And I'm like, I'll settle this. My daughter's a police officer. I'll handle this. And then I get pulled over, and then a police officer comes, and he's like, sir, can you please explain to me why you weren't driving this bus? And he's like, wait, Uncle John, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I knew it would be my own niece that'd be able to pull me over. And she's just like, Uncle, why was nobody driving this bus? You shouldn't even be driving. Your license got suspended because you got too many DUIs. Well, I gotta make money somehow. Are you gonna pay my mortgage? And she's just like, no. And I'm like, okay, then get the hell off my bus. And then this kid, don't even ask me who, because I still don't know to this day, sprays cologne, and I'm like, you. And I'm like, okay, which one of you brats sprayed cologne? I just sneezed my tampon right out of my body. And I look at that nerdy kid, and I'm like, was it you? And he's like, I'm throwing up. And I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna find who sprayed that cologne, and I'm gonna throw him off this fucking moving bus. I found this nerdy girl, and she was with the cologne, so guess what I did? I threw her off the bus. And they're the same nerdy kid. He rolls his window down because he had to throw up, and I'm like, that is it. You all have broken every rule today. And then I put the window back up, and I'm like, what'd I say about putting the window down? And the guy's like, but I had to throw up. And I'm like, oh yeah, likely story. And he's still like, my throw up bag was full. And I was like, oh, your throw up bag is full. And I'm just like, oh, your throw up bag is full. Well, how about you come with me outside? We'll dump it on the ground and you can eat it. How about that? But however, though, the stupid ass kid stole my fucking bus. So, yeah, that's a long story. You know, kids are fucking stupid. They're always like, Dad, I want to play. Dad, I want to play. Yeah, let's play. And you're like, no, we're not. I want mom. Whoa, your mom's dead, kid. I mean, they're always pestering you what you did over the weekend. The fucking weekend. Have you ever asked a grown-up what they did over the weekend? Because if you do, their face lights up. Hey, what are you doing over the weekend? I did nothing. You can't compare an adult and a kid. A kid is a freeloader who sits on the couch playing their stupid-ass video games and wastes all your money. Meanwhile, adults work very hard. They pay the bills all day. But, however, though, kids always want to do stuff. Kids are being kids. And whenever you don't want to do stuff, they always get angry. They're like, oh, we didn't do shit all day. But, seriously, anyway, back to the adult weekend scenario. If you ask an adult, their faces will light up. They're like, oh, I did nothing. want to do something? We can play some pickleball. We can play chess. We can play golf, mini golf, maybe. Like, I was with my girlfriend this one time, and we were at a club, at a bar. We were at a bar club thing, and she drinks like a fucking monster. It was like 12 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, wait, don't you have to be at school tomorrow? Aren't you learning about how the equator works? No, I'll just show a video. I ain't doing shit around here. I clean up the school, and you know how they reward me? And I'm just like, how do they reward you? With fucking peanuts! Well, sure as hell glad I am a comedian. Babe, if I'm being honest, your life sounds like a shithole. Try to quit as soon as possible. Also, when you get back to school, make sure to slap the principal for me. So that's why teachers show videos, because they're exhausted and they don't want to teach no more. Like this one time, I was working at SeaWorld, and there was this kid. He was like, I don't know, 10, 12, 13. No, wait, not 13. Probably like 6, I don't know. But he was just like, I want to kick a dolphin. I'm just like, what the fuck? What now? And he's like, I want to. And the dad's like, yo, how much for him to kick a dolphin? I'm just like, my name's not Yo, and he's not kicking the dolphin. The kid's like, shut up, Dad, I'm talking. But the dad's just like, okay, whatever you want, son. I'm just like, oh, hell no. But kind old Eugene, he was like 67-ish years old. And he was like, John, do you need help with any problems? And I'm like, the problem's only 2 feet tall. I think I can handle it. And he's like, oh, drat. The kid's just like, let me kick the dolphin, loser. And I'm like, how about a free swimming lesson with sharks? And kind of old Eugene's like, God damn. But the kid's just like, shut up. You peaked at high school. And I'm like, you're not going to make it to high school, stuttering booster seat. Eugene's like, God damn, that bitch deserves it. The dad's just like, is there a problem? And I'm like, yeah, it's standing in front of me. You want to try parenting now? Or did your wife give up on that when she gave up on your marriage? And Eugene was just being my biggest supporter. And the kid's like, let me kick the dolphin. And I'm like, no. And the kid's just like, and the dad's like, come on, let him kick a dolphin. And I'm like, no, the dolphins did nothing wrong. And the kid's like, let me kick the dolphin. And he like strikes me right in the cock. I want to kick a dolphin. But I get up and I'm like, and I want to kick a rat-faced iPad kid, but we all can't get what we want, can we? And I just slap him, and he lands right into the shark tank. And then I take a couple grenades and throw them into the shark examinatory, killing that son of a fucking bitch kid. I used to work as a Bell salesman. Not very surprising. I mean, I'm really loud.